Hello, everyone. My name is Robert Daniels, and I'm Associate Editor at RodReaper.com, and it is my pleasure to introduce Charles Burnett's The Annihilation of Fish. If you've attended the Frida's previous screenings of Charles Burnett, then you know a little bit of what I'm about to say, but no filmmaker, no American filmmaker that is, has ever fought against seizure and erasure more than Burnett. It started with his debut film, his UCLA thesis, Killer of Sheep, which is about a black family living in Watts who must contend with the weight of systemic racism. That film features a soundtrack that has hits by R&B, jazz, and soul legends. And Charles Burnett was not able to clear the music rights for it. So it was shelved until Milestone Films paid for the music rights and gave it a wide release. Charles Burnett's follow-up film, My Brother's Wedding, suffered the same shelving. That tragic comedy about a young black generation making sense of their urban life was taken away from Burnett before its festival showing when financiers stopped him from editing. After a poor festival showing, the film was shelved until, once again, Milestone Films acquired the rights and released it. So stop me if you've heard this one before, but the same happened to The Annihilation of Fish. A unique romantic comedy as only Charles Burnett could conceive, The Annihilation of Fish was written by Anthony C. Winkler and stars James Earl Jones as Fish, a gentle man wrestling with a literal devil. The film also stars Lynn Redgrave as Poinsettia, a woman who believes that she is in love with Puccini's ghost. And these two characters meet under the roof of the boarding house owned by Mrs. Muldoon, who is played by Margot Kidder. This film follows thematically Burnett's interest, not only because it is a comedy with only his unique sense of humor, but also because it involves ghosts. Charles Burnett often has included Southern folklore in his films, most prominently in To Sleep with Anger, which starred Danny Glover. To make this film, however, required a decade worth of work by Burnett to get financiers to agree, and they would only agree if he found A-listers. Now, originally for the parts of Mrs. Muldoon, Kathy Bates and Diane Wiest were considered. For Poinsettia, Shirley MacLaine and Anne Bancroft circled that role, and Danny Glover almost reteamed with Burnett to play Fish. In fact, for a couple years, even Sidney Poitier was attached to play Fish. Poitier dropped out for unknown reasons. Instead, it was James Earl Jones who came to the rescue. However, James Earl Jones did have some reservations. In fact, he reached out to the screenwriter Winkler to ask him for a physical description of the devil. Winkler's response in a letter was, quote, "I haven't the foggiest idea what the devil looks like," unquote. Instead, he asked James Earl Jones to imagine the dark side, or Darth Vader, or maybe even his shadow. After filming was complete, Annihilation received a bad review from Variety, which caused many distributors to back away from the project completely. And instead, it was shelved for over a decade until, once again, stop me if you've heard this one before, Milestone Film came in with UCLA and the Film Foundation to restore it, and it was released last year. So it's with great pleasure that I say please enjoy The Annihilation of Fish, if not because of the immense efforts that it took to save it, but also because it's a wonderful, vibrant, and open-hearted film that deserves your love. Thank you.